Late spring geometry can feel like an endless parade of formulas and worksheets. But what if calculating volume became a fast-paced, head-to-head race? That is the idea behind the volume face-off. The objective is simple: compete against your classmates to see who can accurately solve the volume of cylinders, cones, and spheres the fastest. To get started, you need 2 or 3 players. You will also need a printed deck of these volume face-off game cards, a tracking worksheet for each person, some pencils, and 1 stopwatch per player. At this point in 8th grade math, you already know the basic equations. This game forces you to take that knowledge and actually use it with confidence, speed, and precision when the clock is ticking. On screen are the 3 formulas you need to master. We have the cylinder at pi r squared h, the cone at 1/3 pi r squared h, and the sphere at 4/3 pi r cubed. Notice how the cone uses that same base but multiplies it by 1/3. And for the sphere, the radius is cubed, not squared, and there is no height involved. To keep the game moving quickly, you won't be multiplying your final numbers by 3.14. You will leave all your final answers completely in terms of pi. Now, set up your workspace. Shuffle your deck thoroughly and place it face down in the center of the table. Make sure every player has their own blank worksheet and a stopwatch set to 0. Having your materials locked in and knowing exactly how those 3 shapes differ means you won't freeze up when you flip a card. You can instantly pick the right equation and start substituting values. Every round begins exactly the same way. Someone says go, and all players immediately start their stopwatches and flip 1 card from the center deck. Let's look at this example from the instructions. Player 1 flips a sphere card showing a radius of 3 centimeters. They plug 3 into the sphere formula, cubic to the 27, multiply by 4/3, and arrive at a final volume of 36 pi cubic centimeters. The moment you finish writing your answer, stop your timer. You then take whatever time is on your screen and round it up to the next whole number. So if you finish in 10.1 seconds, you record exactly 11 seconds. Next, you log your data. On your worksheet, you write down the type of figure, its exact dimensions, your final calculated volume, and that rounded time. Getting the geometry right is only half the battle. If you forget to round your time up or leave out your units, you sabotage a perfectly good calculation. After a round, your teacher will check the answers. To earn your 1 point for that round, your math must be completely correct, expressed in terms of pi, and include the proper dimensional units, like cubic centimeters. You keep playing rounds until the center deck is empty. When that happens, look at the pink bottom row of your worksheet and add up your total points and your total accumulated time. Here's the equation to determine your final standing. Take your total time in seconds and divide it by your total points. Because you are dividing your time by your correct answers, a lower number is actually better. The player with the lowest final score wins because they achieved the fastest average time for every correct volume they solved. While you wait for other players to finish or for the teacher to check scores, you have a window of downtime. You can use this break for what we call math talk, reviewing your exact moves out loud with your opponents. You can start these conversations with simple prompts. Try saying, "I knew this was a cylinder, so I used," or ask an opponent, "Your method was faster because..." Comparing your steps verbally exposes the small mistakes that cost points. You might quickly realize you accidentally plugged in the full diameter instead of cutting it in half for the radius. Explaining your reasoning out loud forces you to think critically about the geometry. It turns a rapid-fire drill into a collaborative discussion, and that ensures these formulas stay in your memory long after the game is over. You now have the complete strategy. You know to calculate strictly in terms of pi, you know how to properly round and track your time, and you know how to use math talk to refine your technique. If you master the standard deck and want to push your skills further, you can move on to these blank, create your own game cards to design even harder dimensions for your classmates. Now it's your turn. Print out the game cards and worksheets, set up your stopwatches, and challenge a partner to a round. Putting down the screens and engaging in a face-to-face math competition gives you real human interaction and immediate feedback. It is a much richer way to learn than sitting alone with a textbook.